Afterwards it was intuitive. I could even imagine the arrangement of places and rooms where I sometimes stay. And actually there was one interesting subject who didn't really report much while they were wearing the belt, but when they took the belt off them, reported feeling very disoriented. So that's kind of quite interesting. There are also, interestingly I think, signs of the unconscious integration of this new information. So there's quite a complicated story here that I won't really try and give you. We can try and do more of it in discussion if you want. But what they found was some physiological evidence that the effects of the belt were becoming integrated into unconscious eye control loops in the subjects. It was evidenced in systematic changes in the way that their eyes moved automatically if you blindfolded them and rotated them slowly in a chair. So there were changes in something called nystagmus. But anyway, what this seemed to show was that there had been some effect of the wearing of this belt on other sensory systems, which is kind of what you'd expect from a sort of kind of broadly Bayesian perspective if you think that the senses are all integrating their information into one big thing. So very suggestive, I think, overall. Here's a quote from a lovely book that's coming out soon, in time for Christmas maybe, by Kevin O'Regan, Why Red Doesn't Sound Like a Bell. Kevin O'Regan says, "It therefore seems that with practice it's possible to start creating a kind of sixth magnetic sense, which may sometimes be integrated into automatic unconscious behaviour." And there is, I won't go into the details of this, but there's a project I've been working on for the last 3 years, an eSense project, a speculative research project, where we were building low-tech versions of sensory augmentation devices, taking them around to things like big school fairs, get lots and lots of children to try out what we were calling tummy vision. And so we'd give them sort of a little vibro-tactile array, blindfold them, get them to do the ball batting task. And kids are really, really quick at this, very good at it, and have no trouble with the idea of tummy vision. So the moral here then would be, maybe our senses, in that Avicenna kind of way, are themselves just a set of garments. More tools and props that form less of a sort of fixed and immutable set than we might have thought. So at this point you might think, well, okay, we're very fluid and reconfigurable. We can take on board all kinds of new kit, sort of new sensory kit, new bodily kit. But surely the mind at least stays put, stays fairly fixed. Surely what we count as knowing and believing is somehow fixed by the state of our biological brain. This is the last bit that I want to try and call into question. This brings us down to enhancing the mind. So I think the starting point for thinking about the mind stuff here is to think that brains like ours are masters of what my old computer science professor, Aaron Sloman, used to call productive laziness. The idea is that human brains are great at learning to do the least to get the best results. That means that they're really good offload